I have two cars here really to exemplify the differences between Maisto and bburago and the fact that they have really become one single company with two different names. So these are very old cars. Specifically, I mean this one here, let's see, it doesn't have a date on it, but I know for a fact this one was made back in 1998. This is also pretty old, and it used to be a bburago model, and it has only recently switched over to Maisto. Nevertheless, it still carries the same bburago styling and poor quality of the 90s. So this is the 124 version of this Dodge Viper here, and it's okay, you know, for 124. I'm not an expert on them, so I'm not going to go into too much detail, but you know, it's just for comparison purposes. This is a bburago. This is a Maisto. Same exact thing. I mean, it has the same exact designs and everything. Although I must say, it's possible that this one that the bburago model actually has a better quality than this scale 118 Maisto version. The main reason I say that is because the use of plastic on this thing is absolutely horrible. The front bumper is all plastic, but you can. It's not like the 458, the Hot Wheels 458 that I've shown in an early video, where you can't really tell the difference between the plastic and the metal. This one you can very much tell the difference. Maybe not so much in the video, but in real life, just trust me, you can see it. And it's very thin plastic to the point where if you shined it in the light, you might actually be able to see through it, kind of a little hue. This is also plastic back here, and if anything, this is also just as bad. It kind of just follows that same line. You can really notice it with the white here. Difference between the white. This isn't even glossy like this should be, but that's what the old Maistos are like, slash bburago, for whatever reason. This does have suspension. I was surprised to see that because most of the older ones didn't have it. The scale 124 obviously doesn't have it, but everything does open. Now detail isn't bad at all, especially when it comes to the engine. As you can see, you can see all the way down. You can see my hand underneath there. That's nice to see. That means it's not just one big huge plastic piece that they molded in. It's a bunch of pieces that they put together. You can see the wires. It almost look like a spider web going across the thing. I don't know. It's a little unorganized, but it still looks realistic. It's a very nice engine. This is a V10. I believe it's an 8-liter. Absolutely massive block. And they do depict it quite well in this model. Now there are some gaps to notice here. We got a gap here, along the headlight, along here, very big one over here, and that's just because, of course, metal and plastic don't mix very well when it comes to like the design and stuff. Inside, detail is pretty good. You can see everything in there is raised. There isn't any stickers like you would see in the older bburagos that you see in the scale 124. I have to say, it looks pretty nice. And I believe that the older version of this, when it was a bburago model, bburago. I'm sorry, I keep saying that. I'm just used to saying bburago. I believe it just was one sticker, but they did make some improvements. But then they're still carrying over some of the old styling, like this plastic here. You can hear when I run my fingernail over it that it's not a flat piece. It's kind of textured. Don't know why. Underneath, detail is just okay. This whole area right here doesn't look very realistic. I mean, that's just to fit the cabin, but that's not what the real car would look like. Under here, you really don't see much. You see the oil pan. Transmission kind of disappears under here. And you can follow the exhaust a little bit over here, but not too much. You really see this big huge plastic piece right there. That just looks ridiculous. But the wheels pretty big, as you can see here. They turn, the front wheels turn very easily, although I will say a bit too easily. And the wheels, they just don't seem very sturdy overall. Speaking of not sturdy, this is completely flimsy. That I really would worry about breaking. There's a full spare tire there. It's got a Michigan plate on it. Very, 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 very unrealistic taillights. They're just one step up from being painted when it comes to realism. Alright, I feel like I've completely torn apart this car. I feel bad because it is a nice, it does look nice from a distance. It's just, it's not up to par with the current and modern scale 118 budget cars. This one especially, it has several flaws. But overall, it does look nice, and although I wouldn't necessarily recommend it because it's lacking a lot of finesse, a lot of quality, I would say that you'd be perfectly fine buying it if you wanted one of these Vipers, because there aren't many of these first generation Vipers on the market anymore. You might not even be able to find these anymore. I'm not sure. This was purchased I'd say about 2 years ago, and since then they might have sold out, but it should be around $25 to $30. I would never pay any more than $30 for this car, just to let you know. Alright, so if you have any questions, leave them in the comments section below, and as always, thanks for watching.